right. Well, the light of the day has faded. There's a tiny sliver of it still in the sky. But here in New Orleans, there's a lot of drama in the weather tonight. Wind is whipping around, and the trees outside my window are blowing like crazy, and I love it. I feel magnetized and energized. I just finished a Zumba class online, of course. I love Zumba because I feel silly and free when I do it, and it's also reconnected me to my love of merengue and salsa and cha cha cha. So I just did that, and here I am sitting in my room for a special day. Today is Easter Sunday, and it also happens to be my 100th day one video. I have been recording these videos just to hear myself talk, to kind of practice my mind-body skills, and I've also created this playlist that I love, and so I'm really happy about that accomplishment. And obviously it's a very special day for many people around the world. So I feel like it's really appropriate for me that it's Easter Sunday, the day of rebirth, and my 100th video day of the Day One video project that I started for myself. To that end, what's on my mind is I've been, starting last night, I sat with my son and we parallel read before he went to bed. And I started a book that's been sitting, I pre-ordered this book, and I'm ready to read it now, thank goodness. And it's the perfect book to start reading because it is Untamed by Glennon Doyle. And I discovered Glennon a while back, actually I think I might have discovered her on social media, but I've been following her on Instagram, and excuse my allergies are just off the charts today with all this wind blowing the pollen around. Ugh, terrible. Anyway, I discovered Glennon, and I've really loved kind of keeping up with her social media. Her presence is, I think people would describe her as warm, authentic, and open. What I've learned about her is that she started to be well known for her writing and her speaking about what was a traditional gender role family. She had a husband, 3 children, and she identified very strongly as a Christian and would talk about those things. She also had a long history of being sober. She got sober right in the beginning of the pregnancy from her first child. So my understanding is that she spoke and wrote about all those things in a very honest and open manner. And she had a best-selling book called Love Warrior, which I haven't read actually, but I've heard a lot about. And what I'm learning from Untamed is that when Love Warrior came out, right around that same time, she learned that her husband had been repeatedly and chronically unfaithful to her. And I should say she learned about it before that. And the book Love Warrior was her memoir about how her family was put back together and all the work that she did to do that and the internal work that she did to do that. But what she writes about in Untamed is how right at the time that the book was published, Love Warrior, she had a series of epiphanies, which were, obviously as epiphanies go, can be super, heartening and exciting, but also devastating and difficult. And she really came in this process to these series of conclusions that she was living a life that somebody else had made for her. Society, her family, her religion, all the things. And that, she increasingly came to realize that a number of things, that she, again, was kind of going through the motions and had, kind of tamped down her true self. And she fell in love with a woman, Abby Wambach, to whom she's married now. Abby is a retired star women's soccer player. So Glennon and Abby now have a life together as a married couple with Glennon's 3 children, whom they co-parent along with her ex-husband. In any case, Untamed is the story of how she got from Love Warrior to now. And I'm so enjoying her writing. I find myself wanting to read this book and not do the things that I have to do. And so I thought on this special Easter day, I would read a quick passage from this book because I think it's about some similar themes. So this is the passage that I'm going to read. That better way is the unseen order inside us. It is the vision we carry in our imagination about a truer, more beautiful world. One in which all children have enough to eat and we no longer kill each other, and mothers do not have to cross deserts with their babies on their backs. This better idea is what Jews call shalom, Buddhists call nirvana, Christians call heaven, Muslims call salam, and many agnostics call peace. It is not a place out there, not yet. It is the hopeful swelling in here, pressing through our skin, insisting that it was all meant to be more beautiful than this. And it can be if we refuse to wait to die and go to heaven, and instead find heaven inside us and give birth to it here and now. If we work to make the vision of the unseen order swelling inside us visible in our lives, homes, and nations, we will make reality more beautiful, on earth as it is in heaven, in our material world as it is in our imagination. I love this. It feels really special today. So, and I love stories about transformation. Even from my youngest days, I would read stories. I started reading when I was like 4 or 5, and I was always drawn to books and stories about transformation, often including peril, situations of great drama and peril. But in any case, as I'm going through my own transformation, having separated and divorced 3 years ago, my transformation actually really began before then. I would say a good at least 2 years before I separated. I really started in therapy. Even as a therapist, I had been resistant. And I started in therapy and I started digging deep because I knew how just deeply unhappy I had become and dissatisfied and confused. And so that started my great own process of really challenging but so rewarding transformation that I'm still on. I am very much still on that journey, and I think it's an ongoing journey. I would like to believe that we are all dynamic and not static as humans. But certainly for me, it's been very painful, but also very illuminating. And I feel every day that I'm growing closer and closer to the person that I want to be, as I talked about yesterday in my video. And so I'm just really happy to have this book kind of cross my path right now at this moment in my life. And so I'm grateful to Glennon and to all the other people who continue to inspire me every single day, including my clients, my friends, my family. So those are my thoughts. The song I'm going to add to my playlist is a song by a band that's really special to me. It's not quite totally in the theme of what I'm talking about, but it feels like a personal growth song. I mean, it really is. It's beautiful. And it's the Avett Brothers' Head Full of Doubt. And it just talks about like breaking through shame and old patterns of self-doubt. And I love it. I love it. I love it hard. So that is the song I'm going to add to my playlists today. And the mind-body practice that I'm going to do real quick is super basic. I feel like during this COVID crisis, we all need to be focusing much more on our breath, not just for strengthening our lungs, but really to add to our sense of grounding and peace within ourselves. And so I'm going to do the most simple breathing and affirmation exercise, but it feels exactly right to me right now. So as I hear the drama swirling around outside, I am going to plant my feet on this hardwood floor. Feels nice and warm against my feet. I can feel the chair supporting me. I'm opening my heart, sitting up straight so I can really use my lungs. Normally I would close my eyes when I do this exercise, but because I'm on video, I'm not going to do that, but I will do it later this evening when I practice this myself. And I'm just going to start with a few tension-relieving breaths, and that means inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, and really pushing that air out with that exhale just to relieve the tiniest bit of tension in that breath. few times. Really trying to use the full capacity of my lungs all the way down to the bottom and then pushing it all the way out. I'm going to add a phrase, an affirmation that feels right to me today. And I'm going to do this now as I breathe. Today I begin again. Today I begin again. Today I begin again. Today I begin again. So simple, but so meaningful. And anybody who happens to watch this, you can turn that video off and just listen to my voice if you watch this video again. Or this is so simple, you can just do this for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long you can stand it. Give yourself the message of rebirth. And just so simple.